Welcome to the Kelly Healing Project, where we have real conversations about healing, growth, and stepping into your power. So I'm Kelly, and I'm so glad that you are here. So today I'm going to be talking about the lesson that my rosebush taught me about self-love. So for those of you who probably don't know, I purchased a house about 2 years ago. And so I have a rose bush outside. It's beautiful. And so last year with my rose bush, I just used a tiny watering can to water my rose bush every day. And it was pretty tiny. It was alive, but my rose bush wasn't fully thriving. She didn't have new growth. She was alive, but she wasn't thriving. It even became to the point where I needed to get one of those glass globes just to ensure that she had enough water. And this year, I've been using a watering hose with a nozzle on it every day, and every morning, I never forget. And I take my time out there and I water her so good. I pour into that plant, and let me tell you, this year, she's doing so great. She has so many new growths on her. You know, it's like you could tell it's like the little burgundy color of the new roses and the new, things that have sprouted up. The girl is doing beautiful. She looks amazing. And let me tell you, you can take this as a lesson about self-care, self-love. And are you truly pouring into yourself? Because you could be using that tiny watering can and you could be giving to yourself enough where you're just surviving, but you're not truly thriving. But once you decide to truly pour into yourself and use that garden hose and gently water yourself every day and give enough to yourself every day, you will thrive. It will show. You'll be amazed at how much even, when you start pouring into yourself more and more, how it'll start showing up. And this is a lesson for me. I feel like it's a lesson in all the healing that I've done in myself and how it's starting to pour out in other areas of my life. And how I may have not have been pouring so much into myself. And now that I have been, and now that I have been pulling my energy back and giving more to myself and setting those boundaries that are so very important, and how it's starting to pour into other areas of my life where I'm able to put more time, focus, and attention on other things. And how caring for other things, it just, once you're able to take care of yourself, it's amazing how you have enough energy to pour into others and other things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you people please, but you learn that you can take care of things better once you're able to fully take care of yourself, because you have enough time and energy and focus and clarity of mind where you can truly remember to do things and to take care of these other things. So the girl out there, my rose bush, she's doing amazing. She looks beautiful. And now I don't just have a rose bush. I have so many plants outside, and they are doing great. I go out there every day. I water them. I even got pruning shears, so I start cutting off these old growths or these old, flowers that are no longer, they've already bloomed. They're no longer providing what they need to. And, I make sure to gently, cut those old things off. So that way this beautiful plant has enough energy to focus on the new growth and the new blooms and the new buds that need to fully bloom and to show and to have that beautiful, and to focus its beautiful energy on what fully needs to be directed at. So this is a beautiful lesson, and really self-care, self-love, and it's just, you can apply it to really a lot of areas of your life. So really, okay, so we can go through kind of what these tiny watering can behaviors are in your own life in regards to self-care, self-love. And then I'm going to go through different garden hose behaviors. But also even emotional survival mode. Really, you're just giving the bare minimum to yourself. You're not fully thriving. It's just the bare minimum just to get by. Exhaustion basically is normalized. You experience exhaustion on a day-to-day basis. And you're pouring into everyone else first and not yourself. And you even have guilt around rest or care. Let me tell you something. Rest and true self-care and time to really be by yourself and not give any energy to anything or anyone, including social media, TikTok, scrolling. Because really, anytime you are directing your energy to something else, you're basically giving your energy away. Your energy is flowing to something else other than yourself. And there's so many people, which, guys, I have been so guilty of this myself, where I would just, instead of, doing what needed to be done, I would be scrolling on TikTok. It's all those dopamine hits. Scrolling on TikTok. And I've noticed, even recently, how it just felt like my energy was drained. So no more. It's not to say that you can't ever do that, but what you need to do is, if it becomes a problem for you, instead of, going through life and actually giving back to yourself, if you're pouring into so much, something else, so much of your day, you are going to be drained and depleted, and it's going to freaking show. And your energy is going to be low. You're not going to feel well. And you're not going to be at your peak to do the things that you actually care about, that you actually want to do, that maybe even that you're being called to do. But you need to focus. You need to really take an inventory of, what am I giving my time and attention to every day? Am I thinking about people? Am I thinking about other people? What am I attracting in? Even if these are things that you do not fully vocalize and use your voice, like you're not truly saying out loud, but even these are things in your mind, that what are you giving your attention to? What are you thinking about on a day-to-day basis? Because in the end, that's really truly what you're going to attract. What you're giving your time and your energy and your focus and using your brain and your mind, like, you are putting out energy. And a lot of times, if you're giving it to somebody, like, your energy is flowing away from you, and you don't want that. And people need to realize, what you take time for yourself. Put the phone down, put it away, and truly close your eyes and breathe, and just go outside in nature and just give back to yourself. Pull that energy back. We don't need to be drained and depleted all day, every day. This should not be the freaking norm. But here are some tiny watering can behaviors. Examples can include never resting, negative self-talk, settling, emotional breadcrumbs, suppressing needs, inconsistent self-care, and living in survival mode. These should not be normalized. They shouldn't. And also, if you're somebody like me, I have a very bright light, and I do. I irradiate, and I know, I can feel it. I know I used to question it, because I used to question a lot of my own behaviors, but people, they love being around me. But I have learned to be very protective of my energy and to have boundaries. And I thought I was doing good, but I think that this stuff is kind of showing up again, if that makes sense. Like I am thinking too much about, other things, or I'm giving too much even to social media and even to other people. And a lot of people, they don't have boundaries. And if you have a very high frequency and, you radiate, this kind of, you live from a place that is peaceful, that is very joyful, and you live in your own world, and you are a big, bright, kind of bubbly person. People like being around that, and if they're not on that vibration, it will drain you. And I don't think necessarily that these people they don't necessarily realize that they're doing it, but I have realized that I need to be more selective and even put more boundaries into place. And I am perfectly okay with doing that. And even if I come off as the bad guy, at the end of the day, I don't want to go home drained. And just because people like being my energy doesn't need to, necessarily that I need to give them access to that energy. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, you don't truly know who people are deep down. You may think, oh, well, I'm sure she has good intentions. People can smile at in your face and maybe be jealous of you and, wish you ill will behind your back. You don't necessarily need to give everybody your own energy. And a lot of people, they want the reward, but they don't want to put in the work. Because the amount of work that I've had to put in to get to where I am today, it's years. This is years of work, of consistent healing and working through my own triggers and, getting better at, like, I have worked so much. I don't think a day goes by where I don't sit there and question, hey, am I happy where I am? Is there anything that I need to work on? What is coming up right now? What do I need? What do I truly need to work on? But a lot of people, they're not disciplined enough to do that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. What I have, anybody can have. But it's the fact that not a lot of people are willing to put into that work. So I need to learn to be more protective of my energy. I don't necessarily need to talk to everybody 24/7. And I need to be more protective of my energy. I don't want to go home feeling drained. And I feel like this is something that's being illuminated to me. Because sometimes you'll have things and they're not very clear to you. Like you have certain maybe behaviors, or there's a certain cycle that maybe is not truly clear to you, but once you kind of start to do the work, you start to elevate, certain things start to become more clear. Especially when you start to pull back your energy, when you start to give more energy to yourself. You start to become more aware of what energy is yours and what is not yours, because a lot of people don't realize that maybe the thoughts that they're thinking and the feelings that they have are not necessarily theirs. A lot of people want to label this stuff as that's weird, but this is, at the end of the day, energy is all around you, and you want to talk like energy is not there. No, it's there. But it's just like those people who don't understand things are like, I just want to pretend like it's not there. It doesn't change the fact that it's always been there, but it's the fact that you don't want to see it and you don't want to accept it. And instead, I'm living my life amazing because I recognize that, and I'm able to read stuff like that, read people's energy, like I'm super aware. And these other people, that you're drained all day, every day. You don't know what the problem is, but listen, but you can't interfere with people's free will. I can show you the way, and I can say, hey, but it's on you. This is, whoever's meant to find this will find this. Whoever's meant to hear me speak and talk about the lessons that I've learned on this beautiful journey, you'll find it. And if not, then you'll never listen to this, and so be it. I am not attached to anything. And I feel like that's another lesson that a lot of people need to learn. Stop getting attached to outcomes. Stop getting attached to people. Stop getting attached to just things in general. Live your life and be free. We don't need to force people to fit into some sort of box and all of this thing. Just stop. That's where your unhappiness is. You're trying to force all this thing. Well, my life will only be great if I do this. Okay, then you're going to be unhappy because you're putting that power into somebody else's hand. How about you decide to be happy now, just living life? Just the fact that you woke up another freaking day and you have the opportunity to experience this thing called life. And yes, sometimes it gets hard. We didn't come here just to sit around and eat cake and live at the ocean. I don't know why that came up, but a lot of people, you came here to learn lessons, you came here to do things, and a lot of people, they're not doing it. And then you wonder why you're so unhappy with your life. But it is what it is, you know? Whoever's meant to find this will find this, so be it. All right, let's go into what garden hose behaviors are. Examples of garden hose behaviors are boundaries, nourishment, sleep, healing, therapy / coaching, creativity, saying no, investing in yourself, consistency, and allowing joy. Boundaries are a big one. A lot of people don't have enough boundaries. And then sometimes we can give to people that don't even do the same for us. And that's one thing that I'm kind of tired of. I'm tired of, I've become a lot better, but even giving to people who wouldn't even do the same to me. So I'm supposed to come up and talk to you, but yet you don't reciprocate. So boundaries. Learn to be okay saying no. Hey, listen, I would love to talk to you later, but right now I'm busy. I'm sorry, I got something going on, something I got to meet. But hey, let's catch up later. That would be great. Nourishment. Make sure you're fully nourishing your body. Nourishing your body, even mind and spirit. Everything. Be careful of what you're taking in. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have struggled with anxiety and depression and yet watch these horror movies. Be careful what you're feeding into your spirit. I mean, you're taking in all that energy. I strongly feel like a lot of things, we make them so complex. But literally, you're opening a doorway. I strongly feel like you're opening a doorway when you're watching things like that, like horror. Like, why would you purposely want to be in that low vibration? No wonder you have anxiety and depression all the time. You're literally inviting that energy in. You're giving consent when you press play, when you go and see that. That's another reason I don't watch horror movies. I used to when I was younger, and it's like day and night. But at that point, like I used to be, have a lot of anxiety, you just be unhappy. And now I don't watch any of that. I don't give any of that. I don't give any attention to any of that. And my life is so much freer. I have strong, energetic, boundaries. I know how to protect my energy. And it shows. I literally experience so much happiness. I'm more happy by myself than I am with other people. I would love, honestly, I would love to be a hermit. I really don't even want to associate with most people most of the time. And it's not a horrible thing, but it's just, I know my energy. I love and enjoy being in my energy. And sometimes I don't really want to cloud that up. I feel like recently, maybe there's been a lot of people in my energy, which I don't like. And, I don't like having people in my energy all the time. And I think a lot of people, they don't have enough healthy boundaries. And the reason why you're probably unhappy all the time is probably because you have a lot of different people in your energy and you're just fully letting anybody in. It's time to be okay with cutting people the fuck off. Who cares? I will even block you. I don't care. Two, I have a lot of Aquarius energy. I will be perfectly okay blocking you and never talking to you again. If so be it, I really don't give a shit because I love and enjoy myself. I don't need anybody else. I have done all the work by myself. I didn't need anybody to come and hold my hand while I did this hard healing work where I feel like I went to hell and back. I didn't need anybody. All I needed was myself. I know how to pour into my cup. I know how to use that watering hose versus that tiny ass watering can. Excuse the language, but yeah, and sleep. Sleep is so important. If you're not getting enough sleep, if you're scrolling and you're not getting enough sleep, that will catch up with you later. Even last night, I feel like I think there's a lot of energy right now that's very all over the place. I don't know exactly what it is. All I know is for the past week, I've felt kind of depleted. Guess what? I went to bed at like 8 o'clock last night and I slept till almost 8. And let me tell you, it was amazing. It was great. But just learn to know yourself. Stop giving. Hey, I'm feeling depleted. Stop. No, I can't make it. I can't make it today. I'm busy. I have something going on. I can't. I'm no longer going to give when I have nothing to give. And healing, that's a garden hose behavior, is healing. Taking the time to heal. Sit with your stuff. Journal about it. What is coming up? What are these thoughts that are coming up? Is this me? Or is this stuff that was projected on me? Because you would be amazed the amount of crap that is not even your own that you are carrying. And if you have strong energetic boundaries and you know what is yours and what is not yours, then you could start clearing that. And you go start to say, that is not mine. I release it and I send it back to sender. Even therapy and coaching can help you tremendously. That is a garden hose behavior. And investing in yourself, I can't tell you, I have no idea. I don't know the exact number, but I have spent a hell of a lot of money on my healing. I used to go to weekly trauma therapy for about 7 to 8 years. Weekly. So 52 times at least 7. And if I had a copay, I don't remember. That was so long ago. And then I did other healing and other things. It's been a lot, but let me tell you, it has been so worth it. And now I know my energy is so magnetic. I can walk into a room and people can feel my energy. I don't even need to say a word. And I have confidence now. My confidence is amazing. And true confidence is quiet. We don't have to announce it, the fact that we even walked in the room. I am confident, and when you're truly confident, you don't put other people down. I cheer other women on. I love that. Because people who are not being authentic, they will act like they're confident, and they're usually the loudest people in the room. They got to say something about everyone. They got to talk to everybody because deep down, they are so fucking insecure, and it shows, literally. People who are insecure like that, like they have to have people constantly to stroke their ego. Can you tell me that you love me, that I'm okay? Because I'm not okay with myself. And I even noticed that about other people. Constantly posting on social media. They can't even take a shit without posting it. Excuse me, I'm sorry, that probably wasn't that wasn't accurate at all, but you get what I'm saying. There are those people, literally, they cannot have a day pass without posting how amazing their life is. And the fact that you have to post about how amazing your life is just shows me the fact that you're not happy with your life. Because if you truly were happy with your life, you wouldn't be posting about it. You would just be living your life. And I have become more, what's the right word? Protective of, I don't know. I used to post on social media. I don't really post now. I'm only posting for my business. And I'm truly, if it wasn't for my business, if it wasn't for following this true passion, I probably wouldn't even post on social media. I probably would deactivate almost everything and I'd be perfectly okay with it. But the most insecure people, the people who constantly need others, those are the insecure people. And it's not, listen, we all have insecurities. Most people have to work through them. A lot of people, okay, let me just say, some people have done the work and some people haven't. And I think most people haven't done the work, and it shows. I can tell that you're deeply insecure if you constantly have to post 24/7. And deep down at the end of the day, you are allowing a lot of other people to be in your energy because they know exactly what the hell you're doing. How about you start moving in silence? Not everybody needs to know what the hell you're doing. Nobody needs to know. We need to be more protective of our energy. No wonder some of y'all are so unhappy and you feel so drained at the end of the day. Your nervous system is on go all the time. You're constantly seeking validation from things that are outside of you. But once you truly love and accept yourself and you've done the healing work, you validate your own self. You don't need anybody. I would perfectly be okay with living remote and not even being around other people. Shoot, I would freaking love that. I would love that. That would be my dream. I don't want anybody, I don't want everybody up in my energy. I don't want to give you any of my energy. I'm tired because in the past I used to give. And guess what? I was so damn unhappy. And now it's funny how when you don't give, how the other people who just used to take are unhappy about it. But it's funny how they would never give to you. They would just take. So cut them fucking takers off. Excuse my language. Cut them takers off and be okay truly being by yourself. Most people don't realize what a badass individual, I'm sorry for the language right now, but like how amazing and how much of a badass they truly could be when they are okay being in their own energy. Stop giving it so freely to everyone else. Stop. Like, and I want this for everybody. And I don't say like, and I don't think I know that I'm not better than anybody else. I'm just trying to teach people the lessons that I have learned on this journey because I want other people to get it. Because the amount of happiness and freedom and joy and liberation and peace that I feel, I want everybody to experience it. But the thing is, I can't just wave a magic wand over you and say, here you go, everything's gone. At the end of the day, this is your responsibility to do the healing, to do the work. And I swear, I promise you that everything that you will experience after you've done the healing, it'll be so damn worth it. And you will feel so liberated, so happy. But the fact is, you are stopping yourself. You are holding on to old versions of you that don't need to be held on to. You are holding on to old identities of even people pleasing from parents who made you feel responsible for their own happiness, for their own, I don't know, their own crap that they projected onto you. But the fact is you can't fully see it. And I'm hoping that I could sit here and I could talk directly to even your solar plexus, directly to your power center, directly to your trauma, so I can put a light over it so you can see what I have been shown. So you can see what I almost knew what to work with. So you could see the way. I can't do the work for you. I can coach you and I can show you what I've done and I could teach you the lessons because I get these messages through my creativity, which is another garden hose behavior. Because if you're living in survival mode all the time, you're not going to have your creative center light up. And a lot of it, this is fucking science, okay? It truly is. We have energy centers in our bodies, okay? And a lot of people, they have a lot of blocked energy centers. And your energy can't fully flow like it is supposed to. And I strongly feel like when you have a lot of suppressed energy that you haven't moved, traumas, and you have these blocked energy centers, that's where a lot of sicknesses and stuff come up. Let me tell you something. I used to get sick all the time. I used to have horrible allergies as a kid. And allergies, one of the things, it's not feeling safe. I didn't feel safe in my own home. So why wouldn't my immune system start thinking that all these things were threats and start trying to protect me? But also, I used to get horrible allergies. I'm sorry, I said allergies, horrible sinus infections. Like all the time, even to a point too, after I had my second kid, my God, I would get bronchitis. I swear I would be in that doctor's office every 2 weeks getting a breathing treatment. And guess what now? I fucking never get sick. Like I said, I'm sorry for the language, but I never get sick. I can count on my hand the amount of times I've got sick, even the past like maybe 3 or 4 years. I got sick once in February of last year, which was crazy because it just came out of nowhere. It was almost like I don't know if it was the flu. I don't know what it was, but basically I had a fever and chills and for like 2 or 3 days. And that was it. And that was the last time I fully gotten sick. And even then, I didn't even go to the doctor. If you're sick, you stay at home. Because, I mean, what can the doctor do? Oh, well, it looks like you're sick, so make sure you drink plenty of fluids and rest. So that's what the fuck I did. I didn't have to pay a copay or nothing. I feel like we are so dependent on a lot of this stuff. And a lot of it, too, is taking your power back. Being more aware of your energy and clearing any of those blocked energy centers. I swear, once you do that, I take salt baths every day. Use a little Epsom salt. Salt protects your energy too. If you have anything or like it helps. Just throw a little bit of that every morning. I'm clearing my energy. I feel better. I feel happier emotionally. Like it's flowing in every area of my life. You do that stuff. It's gonna take time. It's not like you do. Oh, I've done a little bit of healing. No, it's gonna take years. This took me years, but I never get sick anymore. And it came to the point where it was almost like all this stuff came to a head, even being in this bad, unhappy in my marriage. He wasn't fully pouring into me the way that I deserve to. I feel like people just in my past even take, and they try to label me as something and they try to put their own freaking perspectives on me. I'm ready for people to leave me the fuck alone and let me do whatever the hell I'm supposed to do. And I'm sure a lot of people want to silence me, but I will not be silenced, and neither should you. And if you don't like the fact that I got something to say, then maybe you shouldn't treated me so shitty. And I'm sure a lot of people in my past, abusers, even past people who treated me like crap, you don't want me to come out and me to talk about this. And I really don't give a shit. Maybe next time, maybe the next people that are around you, maybe you'll have more human decency to treat them the way that they deserve to be treated. And a lot of this is projection, and people will treat you. I'm on a roll today. I can feel it. People will treat you the way that they treat themselves. And I've learned that. So it's very important. I'd rather be around healed people versus unhealed people, because unhealed people, y'all project the shit out of other people, and you don't take responsibility for your own healing, for your own behavior, for your own emotions, for your own thoughts, and for your own fucking life. And you project that stuff onto other people. And then you wonder why you're so unhappy. You're literally just a trash can projecting all that trash onto everybody else. What do you actually do for this world? Are you actually contributing? Are people going to be happy that they met you? Are they going to be glad to see you go? And most people may be like, wow, Kelly, that's really deep. Yeah, it is. There's so many people in this world. They're so surface level. Let's just talk about what you did this weekend. I really don't care. And I will try to be nice, but I'm tired of these conversations that are just talking about the weather. And I value deep conversation, and I love talking with other people and getting their perspective on things. Even other people have been through similar situations. Hey, what did you learn on this journey? What has the universe taught you? And that's just the way that I am, and I love it. And I'm very different, and I stand out. And I used to not like that, and I used to no, let's not stand out. But that was the old trauma, and that was the old fawn response. Oh, well, if you stand out, guess what? You're a target. I don't view life that way anymore. God didn't create me to fit in, and I was never meant to fit in, and I'm perfectly okay with that now. And I will stand up and I will speak out, because I'm not going to get to the end of this life and be like, oh, well, I didn't do what I was truly passionate about. I was so afraid of what I don't care. I don't care. And a lot of people who, it's not for them. They're not, and it's not to say that they will never be for them. Maybe they're not ready to face it. They're not ready to start to heal, to start to do the healing work. And maybe right now it's not time for them to listen to this, but maybe down the line it will be. But I want to approach even talking about healing in a certain way that can be relatable to people who are just starting this journey, because I feel like it's what I'm supposed to do. And I've learned to become more aware of my intuition and to follow my intuition, because I used to not. And I know there's a lot of people, even looking at this, where a lot of y'all are so damn unhappy. And if y'all would have done the healing, y'all probably could have experienced such a different life by now. But you've been sitting on your ass for 20 years, wondering when a thing's going to get better, but you haven't done the inner work. Once you do the inner work, it radiates on the outside. You literally change your environment. Can you imagine the amount of work and how far you would go if you actually put in consistent work every day? And I'm not talking about, oh, I don't have 5 hours every day to do this. You don't fucking need 5 hours. Do you have 30 minutes that you can do every day to sit down and journal and to think about how your day went, to sit down and pull your energy back and, even meditate and get quiet? Or somehow regulate your nervous system? Yeah, I think you do, but it's all about priorities. You haven't made this healing journey a priority yet. So guess what? You're not going to experience it. If you put in the work towards something, it'll start to snowball. And for me, I'm about to see the fruits of my labor, because I have consistently done so much damn work on my healing, and I always knew that this was my path. And it's not the popular path. It's not. But you know what? I don't care. I know who I am at a deep level, which most people don't. I don't know who I am. But a lot of times, if you've had a toxic environment where you had a parental figure who didn't fully allow you the privilege to fully be your own self and develop your own character, if you've had a parental figure that was very toxic and that made it all about them, no, you're not allowed to be your own person. Basically, being your own person was a threat to the family dynamic. Well, that was a fucking shitty family dynamic, wasn't it? That was a lot of weak individuals who tried to raise you up. But just because you experienced that, and just because you went through that, doesn't mean that's how your life is always supposed to be. And I know other people from my past, they could see my potential before I could have seen it myself. And let me tell you, they were probably freaking terrified of the amount of things that I was going to do. It somehow triggered them. It triggered that insecurity. It showed them the amount of unhealed shit that they had within themselves that they haven't taken the time to heal. Let me tell you, if you constantly run from all your problems, they have power over you. When are you going to step up and have enough balls to actually fully heal your stuff and the amount of trauma and stuff that is going to follow the family line, until you have somebody that has enough courage and audacity to stand on their own and be the black sheep of the family, and to use his or her voice, to do something powerful. And as I said that, I got full body chills. because I know my power now, and nobody can take that away from me. I have done the work, and it shows. And I know that I can be intimidating to some people. I am not mean in any way, shape, or form. I treat you with pure kindness. I truly do, but I need to get better at my boundaries. But people can sense your energy before you barely even get in the room. They can feel your energy, your auric field. And once you have done the healing, your energy field opens up, and people can feel that. I don't even need to say a word. I don't even need to talk. I don't need to say a word. You feel my energy. I even, and my energy is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. Literally, I was out to eat with my son. Was it yesterday? No, I think it was on Monday. Anyways, a couple days ago, I was out to eat with my son. It was great. We were having the time, and when I'm out with my kid, I try to focus on even with anybody, I focus on truly being present in the moment. I didn't go out to eat with him so I can, scroll on my phone. I went out to eat so I can enjoy time with him. We had so much fun, man. We did. It was great. And even at one point, I had the urge to turn. And apparently, there were just, some people like looking at me, even with my bag, like turn in. But I can sense this even when I go out to places. Even we went to another place. Okay, so all right, story time. But teenage boys, woo, they can eat a lot, and which is perfectly fine. They're growing, and I've even seen adult men. They can eat a lot, and it's amazing because they have a fast metabolism too, and it's almost something that us women are kind of jealous of. I mean, it's great, and I don't ever want my kids to be insecure about it. I told them it's fine. Listen, you do you. If you're hungry, you eat. Anyways, but he was having a hard time deciding where to go. So it was in between two places. So he decided one place. So we went there, we ate. It was great. We had fun. And then he was like, I think I'm still hungry. And I was like, okay, what do you want? And I was like, you know what? We should go to the other place because, you couldn't decide between the two places. And first he was like, no, we can't do that. I was like, why not? Let's do it. So we did it. It was great. So first we went to Zaxby's and then we went to Chick-fil-A. But even walking in Chick-fil-A, people staring. But they can feel my energy. And you know what? I'm clearing a lot of trauma related to being seen. And I think that's clearing a lot of energy off of me. And I think people can sense that. And now I've told the universe, hey, I'm ready to be fully seen now. I'm okay. Bring it on. I know it may be overwhelming a little bit at first, but I'm ready for it. But anyways, that's besides the point. But when you do healing like that, yeah, especially me with my purpose, if I told people, see, I know things without telling you how I know certain things. It doesn't relate to everything, but there are certain things that I just know. And I can't tell you how I know. I just know them. And this is one thing that I know. This path, I've always known this. And it's like the more work that I do, the more that I know and I can kind of see it clearly. And if I told people how big my purpose is, y'all would be, I don't know, what's the right word? Flabbergasted, shocked, I don't know. But you don't tell people things like that. You just make moves and you just make it happen. And that's another way to protect your energy. You don't tell them that. But if I told you, y'all would be like, what? Yes. And I don't know. And I used to be like, are you sure? Like, oh my gosh, like, am I ready? Yes. And I used to be like, I don't know if I can handle it. I will be fine. And I guess maybe it's because my heart is pure, and maybe God knows that I can handle it. But I have a lot of great good to add to this world, and it involves using my voice. But a lot of times when you have a big purpose, or you have something that is being called to you, you're going to experience some, let's say, resistance. Don't let that stop you. Keep going. I've had a lot of people who've tried to silence me, but I will not be silenced. And it's not in a way where, like, even in other atmospheres, I don't try to overtalk. I don't overtalk people. I don't talk over people. There you go. I don't talk over people. Like my ego, everything, all that shit is in check. I'm very authentic and very grounded, but it's important that people feel seen and heard, and I understand that. It's about the good that you can provide to this world. Anyways, I feel like I've got on a tangent for that, but I believe I was talking about creativity and how a lot of people have blocks and that they need to work through those blocks. But they don't. But like I said, you can't interfere with people's free will. People, if they want to experience that, and I strongly feel like the universe is so supportive that it will support whatever you feel and believe is true, or whatever you have. But so if you believe there's always a problem, the universe will show you a problem. If you are looking for a problem, you will find it. There's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system. If we fully took in every car that we saw on our way to work, like, we would be so overwhelmed. So our brain has a filter, and that filter, it's whatever you focus on, whatever you believe to be true. So if you want to believe that there's always a problem, it'll fucking show you a problem. But if you want to believe that life is always working out for me, everything is so easy, everything is just amazing, and life feels amazing, and as I am fully supported in this path, in life and everything, and I see the full beauty that there is, then that is what you will see. And that is what I've learned to do. But most people are like, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm over here being happy, and I know you're not, but and you think it's far out. Okay, that's cool. But it's not my job. I'm not gonna, turn blue in the face, trying to convince you of these things. I can tell you so you have the knowledge, but if you're not ready to see it, then it won't be for you. You'll block it somehow, some way. You're not ready for it. And you know what? That's perfectly okay. I really don't care. I'm happy with myself. And I think a lot of people, though, they're not. They're fully not happy with their lives. And, it's unfortunate, but it's the reason why I talk about this, because I want everybody to experience this. I do. Because it's not so no, we can't experience life like that. Well, you just reaffirm that belief to your brain so you won't experience it. But once you start working through these subconscious beliefs, because you are programmed. You are programmed by what you watch, what you take in, what you give your time and energy to, and you're programmed by even your family dynamics, how you grew up, what your parents taught you was true, how life worked, all of that things. But just because you experience that doesn't truly mean that that's how life is. You have to learn to rewrite that. And that takes a really, truly strong person to sit back and start to question things. Well, is that true? Well, I don't know. Like, start to question it. Start to question life and how you experience life. And I promise you can overcome that, but it's going to take time, because you have to release all these old programmings, these subconscious things that you're not even aware of. But you can do it. But even investing, like I said, investing in yourself, consistency. If you have emotional blocks and you block yourself, you're not going to be consistent. Hey, I want to create this business, but then you have some sort of blocks. Yeah, you're not going to be very consistent, are you? But if you truly want to get it and you don't have any blocks, you're going to be consistent day in and day out, and allowing joy. You can experience joy. Anybody can experience joy. This is not some far out thing. Joy is just a frequency. Literally, emotions are just energy in motion, and you can measure emotions by frequency. You have a field around you that radiates, and people can pick up on that frequency, whether it's shame, guilt, it's fear. Like, people pick up on that, and people know that. You think, oh, well, nobody knows that I'm living in fear. No, people know that. They may not be able to tell you how they know, but they just know. They can pick up on that. But if you radiate joy, positivity, your auric field, all that stuff, it opens up. People sense that. And it's like moth to a motherfucking flame. Excuse me. These people will gravitate towards you. And that's why, too, if you're like me, you're a light worker, you're whatever, you're whatever they call earth angel. And I used to hear this stuff and I used to be like, no, I'm not. I don't think I am. Well, now the more that the more healing that I've done, the more that I am. I am. And that's why people want to be around me. And people really enjoy being in my energy. But I need to cut some people off, I need to be like, no, I'm giving too much. And if some people thought that I was already, kind of cut through, oh, she's very protective of her energy. Well, hell yes, I am. I have worked so hard to work through all my trauma, all that stuff. You think I'm just going to let some people just cloud my energy? Because a lot of people, if they're lower energy, they will drain you. They will take from you. I have worked so hard to maintain this. I am not afraid to cut people off, if it means protecting my energy and all that I've created, because most people haven't done this work. They haven't experienced this. I have done a lot of work. I'm not giving. Y'all need to learn to give to yourself, and you could do that with that. Use that damn garden hose. Exactly what I'm talking about. I do get a little feisty sometimes, even when I talk about this, because I want people to fully understand this and get this. This is not some sort of secret club. No, you can experience this too. But most people, y'all are fighting. Well, no, I don't want to believe in that. I don't believe in energy. You have energy all around you at all the time. But you don't want to believe it. But okay, you live your life, boo, and I'll live mine. And you see who comes out happier and who just lives their life. But also, part of me is just here. I'm here also to be the example. I'm here to be the example. And I guarantee you there's a lot of people that probably look at me and they're like, God, I kind of want what she's got. She's able to be her own self and be her own thing, and she's happy doing it. And, I'm giving, and I'm drained. Being by myself, it re-energizes me. And I have to pour back into me. And so please be the garden hose. Nobody's gonna come to fill you up. I am so sorry, but this is a lesson too that I've had to learn. Nobody's gonna come save you. You have to learn to save yourself. There are people along the way, and their instruction manual and their maybe book about how they went through and how they made it through certain things can be your instruction manual. But nobody's going to come and do it for you. If you want to save yourself, you're going to have to, put your big girl, big boy panties on, and you're going to have to do the work. And you're going to have to know that it's achievable. But you can have this. And the amount of joy and stuff that I've experienced, and even how I view myself, has changed so drastically. All the projections of other people in the past, I used to view myself as very critical, very, like I used to work so hard trying to prove myself. No, I don't need to prove a damn thing to anybody. And if anybody makes me feel like I need to prove something, then, I can show you the motherfucking door. I really don't need you in my life. Those are the needy, people don't even. And they probably love that. And there's a lot of people who will smile in your face and even wish upon your downfall. Because when you're doing the right things, you're taking care of your health, you're taking care of their body, and you even learn to overcome massive amounts of trauma, not only from yourself and probably even for me, past lifetimes, but generational shit that I've learned to transmute, to heal, so that not only can myself, the lineage from forward back and backwards experience freedom from these quote invisible chains, but my kids, everybody else can experience that. And when you heal yourself, even that, you heal the collective and you heal other people, because at the end of the day, we are connected. But being, this illusion of being separated, it's an illusion. It is an illusion. And I forgot where I was going with this, but the amount of freedom, and most people can't even comprehend the amount of crap that I have done, even behind closed doors. And I don't need a gold medal or anything to, but I have done the work. And, wow. The amount of respect that I have for myself is just like, I literally amaze myself. And I think, and I know that I can probably be considered a threat to most people. I used to dim myself down, dim my light. Don't shine too bright. Oh no, they're not going to like it. I don't give a fuck. If you don't like the fact that I shine bright, then maybe you should look away, or maybe you should grab some shades, because I will not dim myself down even more. I have done that for way too long. And if you don't like what I'm saying, then you really won't even be listening to me in the first place. And it's funny how some people think that they are very sneaky. I read energy, and I know who's truly authentic and who truly is sending me negative energy. And it's actually kind of funny how people tend to underestimate the shit out of me. But I love it, because I've been underestimated my whole damn life. And just wait a minute, because when I fully emerge from this hermit mode, I'm going to have to sit here and reintroduce myself to this whole world. But listen, guys, this can be you too. You're going to have to give everybody a formal introduction. Hey, you may have known the old me, but listen, this new me, she is strong. She is powerful, and she can use her voice to make a difference in this world, because you know what? She's what's the right word? She is powerful enough to know the difference that she can make in this world, and she's not living small like most people would. Most people, they live small. Well, maybe if I just make enough to get by. No. Do y'all realize the amount of things that if y'all thought the way that I did, you would see that the sky is the motherfucking limit. Not even the sky, man, the stars. Because I'm about to do some big things in this world, and y'all better be prepared, because y'all may find me intimidating now. You just wait, because I'm going to use my voice to make a change in this world. I'm getting full chills. I'm about to stand on stages that people can't even fathom. And a lot of people, y'all are so scared to speak. I'm ready to speak on stages and to be the power in my voice. And even now, when I look back and I make videos, the way that I articulate and the way that I've learned to talk and to communicate, the power in my voice, the way that I use my words, how I lower my voice, how I make it higher, make it more stronger, the tempo that I speak, just the way that I use my words, my voice. I'm just literally so impressed. I made some videos that I post on my social media accounts recently this week. I literally was almost in tears, because I'm so proud of myself. the way that I articulate. I've always had this in me, but I'm developing it more. I'm working on it consistently. I started this podcast in July of 2025 when I was learning how to use my voice, when I was learning how to speak, and I've been consistent at it, and I didn't care about who hears it, who doesn't hear it, but also this is a way for me to practice my speaking, practice my communication skills, practice how I talk, how I articulate my words, what I use, what I say, and it's helped me greatly, and it's starting to pour out. And I'm getting just full body tingles, even chills, just even as I talk about it. But I'm stepping into my purpose. And let me tell you, it feels so good. But you can do this too. You could start, you can even, if this is a perspective even that you resonate so deeply with, you can do the same. Buy a microphone off Amazon and start a podcast. Figure it out. Even if nobody listens, it's your channel for healing, for speaking, for using your voice to process what you're going through. And let me tell you, it helps deeply. And I know that so many people have probably seen my potential even before I did. And they were like, woo, we gotta stop her. And somehow I can feel the energy that people have projected on me to try to silence me, to try to make me self-sabotage, question myself, to make me not speak up. And you will not be successful. This is my purpose. And also, I am so damn powerful that any of that energy that you send my way that is negative, I take it and I use it for something positive. I literally take things that were meant for my own detriment, that people have tried to use against me, and I use it for good. So I want to thank all my haters and anybody who has even sent negative energy toward me, because you allowed me to make it into something great. Because y'all see, in the end, I always win. And it's not of no, I'm just like anybody else. But the thing is, I know how to transmute, and I know how to use things to my benefit. Because in the end, if you want to take something negative that happens to you and make it in something positive, you have to be aware of what you're thinking and how you're viewing it. A lot of people, they defeat themselves in their own brain. Who needs enemies when y'all defeat yourselves in your own head? Stop it. The thing is, my mindset is so strong and so powerful that anything that comes against me, I'm like, damn, how am I going to, what am I going to make out of this? Like, I am so excited. And even when I hear about haters or I feel that negative energy, ooh, that fires me the fuck up. Please. I have been hated on most of my life. Please give me something to work with. Send that energy. But the fact these people, like, your haters are your biggest fans. Because the fact that if anybody has a hater, that's literally your fan. Because people see you as a threat. Y'all see me as a motherfucking threat. That means I got some amazing shit in me that I used to question. But these people don't even realize energy. You're sending energy towards me. So thank you. I think it's funny, but yeah. But y'all sit here and underestimate the shit out of me, please. Please. And then later, y'all are going to be breaking your heads, being like, what is she do? Oh my gosh. Like, how did that happen? Like, they're going to think it happened overnight. I've been working towards this for most of my life. Like, you're going to think it's a lucky break. No, I've been working towards this my whole life. Some people probably would be amazed if they could just take a day in my brain and how I think and how I work. The amount of work that y'all haven't seen me like do, I've done behind closed doors. And also the things that you do in private consistently, working towards something, God will reward you in public. But anyways, I feel like I've kind of went on a little bit of a rampage, but I don't know, a tangent, but I don't know. I think life is amazing. It really truly is. And it only just keeps getting better and better for me, and opportunities just find me. And a lot of people are like, God, why is she so lucky? Because I freaking say it out loud. I work on affirmations. It's how I view the world. Once you realize that you truly are a creator of your own reality, but the fact is that you have been creating the stuff that you didn't want because you're so focused on them. The universe, whatever you believe is true, it doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are, what you think about, what you focus on. It literally supports you so much that it says, okay, this is what you focus on. This is what you get. You are that supported. But then some people probably don't even want to believe, well, oh no, but that can't possibly be the way. Yeah, it can. You can experience the amazing, beautiful things in life, but the fact is that's not how you see the world. So that's not what you experience. So don't be jealous when I'm over here living my best life and I've already attracted all these things in and all these things are starting to flow to me because I've worked on this shit consistently. But you can have this too, but you believe that it's not an option. So please, I'm going to wrap this up because I feel like I'm going off on a tangent, but I love it. But please, stop using that tiny ass watering can to pour into yourself and use that garden hose and to pour consistently into yourself. So, and even start journaling. Start asking yourself some of these questions. So where in your life are you giving yourself the bare minimum? Even what would a garden hose look like emotionally for you? What are you starving yourself of? What would happen if you consistently poured into yourself? So maybe there's nothing wrong with you. Maybe it's that you've been trying to grow while being underwatered. Maybe your soul, your body, your creativity, your heart simply need more nourishment. You deserve more than survival. You deserve the conditions that allow you to thrive. So I'm going to close this up. Thank you so much for listening to the Kelly Healing Project. Remember that healing is not about becoming somebody new. It's about reconnecting with who you truly are, healing the past, empowering the future. If you would like to connect further, you can visit me at thekellyhealingproject.com. I'll see you next time. Bye.